Good afternoon. Welcome to Monday live session. This is me, Vandana, joining you from Neetu's Academy. So, how was your weekend? How is everything going? Okay. So, in this video, we'll be dealing with Part B as well as Part A. So, first of all, let's look into a sample question from Part B. Then we will discuss the strategy, the number of questions, the time, everything. So, let's look into the question. So, I'll give you 2 minutes for the preparation of the question. Then we will discuss the answer. Okay, so the time is over. Now let's read the question first, then the options, then we will move to the paragraph. When seeking consent for a post-mortem examination, it is necessary to, that is the question. So what are the keywords from the question? So when you read a question, as I always saying, it is very important to mark the keywords from the question. So from the question, I am marking when, then post-mortem examination and necessary. So these are my keywords from the question. Then let me know what are your keywords from the question. Okay, so yes, Abhi, Reshma, yes, good afternoon. Okay, so that is all about the question. And then we are moving to the options. So option A, give a valid reason for conducting it. So my keywords give, reason, conducting. And from option B, allow all relatives. So allow, then all relatives the opportunity to decline it. So these are my keywords from the second option. And from the final one, only raise the subjects after death has occurred. So the keywords raise, only, then after, occurred. So these are my keywords from each of the options. Okay, so a lot of answers. Okay. Alright, so I'm reading the paragraph, post-mortem consent. So, a senior member of the clinical team, preferably the consultant in charge of the care, should raise the possibility of a post-mortem examination with the most appropriate person to give consent. So from the first line, so can you please tell me in which category the question falls under? Okay, so we have 3 categories. So from these 3 categories, in which category the question falls under? Which type of question is this? Which category of question is this? When seeking consent for a post-mortem examination, it is necessary to do something. So why it is important to do something? Okay, or when to do something, how to do something. So which means the question falls under the category guideline. So this is a guideline category, and which we are reading for the details. Okay, Reshma, very good. These are guidelines, okay? Comes under the category guideline. So which sentence is important in a guideline? So we can say from the paragraph, always first sentence is important. I'm not saying that always the first sentence is the answer, but the first sentence will give you a lot of clue towards the answer. So what is the first sentence? A senior member of the clinical team, preferably the consultant in charge of the care, should raise the possibility of post-mortem examination with the most appropriate person. So we are discussing this thing about, to the most appropriate person, not to all relatives or to all persons, okay? So that we can eliminate which option? Option B. We are not discussing this post-mortem report or this post-mortem consent to all the relatives, but to the most appropriate person. So this is contradictory option, or you can say opposite option. Then reading the next. The person consenting will need an explanation, because the relative, the person, the most appropriate person, that person need an explanation of the reasons for the post-mortem examination and what it hopes to achieve. So this third line, which is tracing towards option A, give a valid reason for conducting it, because this person needs to know about it, right? Okay, so the first approach should be made as soon as possible, or as it is apparent that a post-mortem examination may be desirable, as there is no need to wait. So no need to wait until the patient has died. So you don't have to wait for the patient's death, which means we can eliminate option C. Okay, so here again option C is contradictory option, or you can say opposite option, because in option C, only raise the subject after death has occurred. That is what it is mentioned here, the the proposition. But here in the paragraph, you don't have to wait for the death of the patient. So eliminate option C. So the correct answer should be option A. So through elimination method. So what is the strategy that we are using here in part B? It's called elimination strategy. So give a valid reason for conducting it. That is the answer. Okay, very good, Abhi. Your answer is correct. Okay, and a lot of answers. Let me check your answers. Reshma, good, option A. Digi, option A. Okay, Honey, option A. Hi, Ansu, good afternoon. How are you? Then Jansi, okay. Yeah, Jinu, Ammu, okay. Option A. So majority of you got option A. Very good, excellent. So that is option A. Then what about the last line? Many relatives are more prepared for the consenting procedure if they have had time to think about it beforehand. So nothing to do with option C. So what is option C or option B? Allow all relatives the opportunity to decline it. Decline, which means we can stop. Okay, so nothing mentioned about stopping the procedure or anything, opportunity. So that answer should be option A. Any doubts? Okay, Binzi, very good. That is elimination method. Okay, so you don't have to wait your time by, checking the meanings or everything or anything. Just read the question, read the options and read the paragraph. Do elimination method and find out the answer. Okay, so that's that. So now let's move to the next important part, that is part A. Okay, so let's revise first of all about part A. So what about the timing? Let's discuss about part A. So what about the timings? So the total time for doing this reading module, it should be 1 hour. So within this 1 hour, we have to complete almost 3 different parts. Okay, part A, part B and part C. And we are discussing about part A today. So what about part A? What is the time? So it should be, we can take almost 15 minutes for the completion of part A. So within this 15 minutes, it's important to complete 20 questions. We have to complete 20 questions. Yes, Reshma, 15 minutes. And within this 15 minutes, we need to complete 20 questions. Okay, so basically it is very important to read each of the texts. So we have 4 different texts in part A, and it will be different from one another. Okay, and text A, text B, text C as well as text D. And one of the texts will be definitely a pictorial of something, maybe a table or a diagram or something. Okay, a pictorial of something. So then About the questions, these 20 questions can be categorized into 3. Okay, 1 to 7, those are called what? Match the following questions. Okay, 8 to 14, the next set of questions 8 to 14, which can be called short answer questions, and the rest of the questions which can be called fill in the blanks questions, which means 15 to 20. Clear? So these are the set of questions. Okay, then when you read all these texts, different texts, we need to apply a kind of technique, or we can say a strategy or a method. So which strategy that we are using here? May I know which strategy that you are using here to complete part A? What strategy? What method? Okay, so we will be using the method called skimming and scanning. So what is skimming and what is scanning? Okay, through a lot of videos and through a lot of sessions, you guys know about skimming and scanning. But let me know what is skimming and what is scanning. So these are two entirely different words. Skimming, which means we are fast reading these 4 texts, okay, within this stipulated period of time. And scanning, which means when you fast read, we have to collect some important words, keywords from each of the texts. Clear? Okay, so we can be called, skimming and scanning can be called it as fast reading or speed reading. So let's read each of the texts first of all, then we will look into the set of questions. Okay, so text A. And before reading that, let me tell you another important thing. When you read each of the text, already I have told you skimming and scanning method, that is a method that we are using here. So what are the important words that we can mark from each of the text? Okay, it's important to mark all the headings. Okay, a lot of comments. Okay, Jansi, skimming and scanning. Okay, Jinsha, skimming and scanning. Reshma, skimming and scanning. GN Kachus, yes, skimming and scanning. Okay, Abhi. Okay, Vidya, yes, skim and scan. So, what are the keywords? It is very important. You have to by heart everything, okay? Because if you know about what is the technique, okay, what are the keywords that we are marking here, it will be easy for you to, when you read each of the text, it will be easy for you. So, what are the keywords that you can mark when you read each of the text? So, the first one, that is heading. Yeah, yes, Vidya, it is very important to underline the keywords from the text as well as from the question. Okay, it is both are important. Okay, Abhi, heading, subheading, bold letters, abbreviations, numerical value. Okay, whatever you have commented, which is absolutely correct, okay, but you have to study it in a proper order, otherwise you will not forget. Alright, so the first one is heading, then subheadings, then what else? You can mark all the numbers, signs and symbols, then names, okay, abbreviations, bold and italicized words, brackets, and the words which indicate time, the words which indicate experiments, the words which indicate research, and always what? The first and last line of each and every paragraph, as well as all the bullet points. So this is how you're gonna mark the keywords from each of the text. Okay, so text A, Lynch syndrome. So first of all, let's mark the name of the condition, Lynch syndrome. And another important thing is, when you do additional materials, it will be very clear for you, okay, each of the text or each of the material, part A, I'm talking about part A, if you're reading, okay, you will understand, maybe text A, I'm not saying always all the time, okay, 95% I can say, text A will be always about a particular disease condition, okay, and in text B, they will be dealing with what are the symptoms of the disease condition, about the prevalence, okay, and text C, maybe text C or text D will be of a pictorial of something, maybe a table or a chart, okay, a pictorial, and text D is always about the outcome, the results, okay, the comparisons, the managed treatment. So it should be like this. Okay, text A. Lynch syndrome is a genetic condition that increases your risk of developing cancer. People diagnosed with Lynch syndrome are more likely to get cancer before 50 years of age. So I'm marking 50 before. These are the words which comes under the keywords category. Okay. Then, Lynch syndrome occurs in approximately 1 in 279 individuals in the United States. An estimated 4,000 cases of colorectal cancer, another name of a cancer, colorectal, and 1,800 cases of uterine endometrial cancer from Lynch syndrome each year. Lynch syndrome can lead to cancer that affects several organs within your body. Types of cancer, Lynch syndrome can cause include. So what are the cancer types? So these are the cancer types. So yes, we can mark all the points which is mentioned. A genetic mutation of one of 5 genes, so 5, are responsible for fixing errors in DNA abbreviation. Then mismatch repair gene causes Lynch syndrome. So these are the 5 genes. Okay, then what about the last one? If you have Lynch syndrome, your DNA mismatch repair gene, MMR, okay, doesn't have all the instructions to get rid of damaged cells. So they built up in your tissues and can cause cancer. So these are my keywords from the text. Okay, text A. So what about text B? So what are your keywords from text A? Let me know. Hi Suganya, how are you? Okay, so what are the keywords from text A? Have you marked the keywords from text A? If you haven't, please mark the keywords from text A. Okay, so we are moving to text B. So what is important? The title is important, diagnosis. Okay, so how can we identify this condition? So maybe the symptoms or a lot of test identification ascertaining the condition is mentioned here. Okay, so diagnosis. So what are the diagnosis? Colonoscopy, transvaginal ultrasound, urinalysis, and upper endoscopy or capsule endoscopy. So these are the techniques or these are the diagnostic procedures, right? Okay, so then we are moving to text C, that is all about the treatments. Okay, so title is here, treatment. Some research suggests that taking a daily aspirin may lower the risk of cancer in people with Lynch syndrome. In certain situations, you might consider surgery for treatments or prevent cancer. Treatments may be available for these type of situations. Okay, endometrial cancer prevention, ovarian cancer prevention, as well as colon cancer prevention. So these are the situations. Then finally, we are moving to text D. This is all about a pictorial. Okay, as I already informed, one of the text will be a pictorial of something. So here it is a chart. So what about this? Patients with newly diagnosed colorectal cancer, 𝐼HC. So a lot of genes mentioned as well as abbreviations. Okay, figures mentioned, numbers mentioned, signs and symbols mentioned. So let's mark all of it. Okay. Yeah. So there is a small box in the bottom of this chart. MSH2 and MSH6 genes are not methylated, and so absence of immunizing for these genes does not lead to studies for methylation. One may proceed directly to testing for gene mutations. One advantage, so which comes under advantage, okay, that is from this experiment, okay, then of 𝐼HC is that microsatellite stable tumors related to MSH2 mutations can be detected. Okay, so that is all about marking the keywords from each of the text. Now we are moving to the set of questions, that is 1 to 7, which can be called short answer questions. So what about the timing? 15 minutes. And within this 15 minutes, 20 questions. What is the method? Skimming and scanning. Okay, so short answer. So what is important instruction here? For each question 1 to 7, decide which text, whether it is A, B, C or D, the information comes from. You may use any letter more than once. So what about the first question? The definite advantage of 𝐼HC. So where did you see this two important terms, advantage as well as 𝐼HC? Any idea in which text this particular answer falls under? Okay, Reshma, very good. Your answer is correct. It is from text D. Okay, the last one from that small table. Yeah. Okay, so you can see here from the last line, one advantage of 𝐼HC. So that is mentioned in this text D. Okay. Then the second question, variety of tumors, which means different types of cancers. Okay. Variety of tumors can be monitored and scrutinized by examining the urine sample. So what are the different types of cancers can be monitored and scrutinized? In which text it is mentioned about this types of situations? Okay, so as you can see here, in the point urinalysis, a sample of your urine helps your healthcare provider screen for renal tumors, okay, and other complications associated with the Lynch syndrome. Your provider will order a urinalysis annually. So this is all about the urine sample test, which is from text B. Okay, Anju, it is not from text D, dear. It is from text B. It's all about the urine sample. So that is only mentioned in text B, as you know. Okay. Okay, Ammu, Binsi, Vidya. Yes, it is from text B. Suganya, okay. Very good, Reshma, text B. So jumping to the next one, third. Probably this medication. Which medication? Can be best avoid, control the chance of ovarian cancer. Prevent the chance for ovarian cancer. So where is this particular term mentioned? Preventing the chances of ovarian cancer. Okay. So yes, this particular term is only mentioned in text C. Ovarian cancer prevention, abortion. Okay, prevention. So that is from text C. Then what about the fourth one? The instances demands you to conduct colectomy. Okay, so where is mentioned this colectomy, the conduction of colectomy? The incidences demands you to conduct colectomy. So the same text, as you can see here in text C, they have mentioned regarding, okay, the colon cancer prevention. So here they have mentioned about colectomy. So where? Surgery to remove most or all of your colon is called colectomy. So very easy. That is from text C. Okay, Vidya, text C, very good. Fourth one is text C. What about the fifth one? Any idea? Number of genes gets mutated in Lynch syndrome. So where they have mentioned the number of genes. Okay, a number of genes which is only mentioned in a proper order. It is in text A. As you can see here, a genetic mutation of one of 5 genes. So these are the 5 genes. Which are the 5 genes? These are the 5 genes. Okay, so that is from text A. Okay, text A. Okay, Anju, first one is from text D. Yes, yes, dear, very good. Okay, okay, oh, okay. I understood, okay. So yes, sixth one. Frequency of scheduling a transvaginal ultrasound. Okay, the frequency, the duration of scheduling transvaginal ultrasound. So where they have mentioned this particular term. So it is very easy to identify because these are products. Okay, names, transvaginal ultrasound. So where is it mentioned? As you know, okay, which is from this particular text B, the second point, it is all about this transvaginal ultrasound. So that answer should be, see, your healthcare provider will recommend scheduling this particular treatment option. So that is from, okay, text B, sixth one, text B. Okay, so jumping to the seventh, common type of cancers. So what are the type of cancers mentioned? Okay, so that is from, again, text A, all about the genes as well as the cancers, the type of cancers. Types of cancer, Lynch syndrome can cause these type of cancers. Okay, brain cancer, colon and rectal cancer, gallbladder cancer, liver cancer and ovarian cancer. Okay, so that is the end of match the following questions. Any doubts? 1 to 7, any of the questions? If you have any doubts, you can comment it. Okay, otherwise let's move to the next set of questions, that is 8 to 14, which are called short answer questions. So what is the important instruction mentioned here? You can write it in a word or a short phrase. So a word itself is a word, and short phrase, which means maximum of 3 words. Okay, so the first one, what proportion of patients had no staining, okay, for all proteins? So what is the answer? Eighth one, proportion. So we need a proportion, okay, a percentage maybe. So what is the correct answer? Eighth one, it's the proportion. Okay, when you check text A, text B as well as C and D, You can only see this proportion in text D, the pictorial. Okay, so what are the proportions mentioned here? 15 to 20%, then 2%, as well as 80%, then 10 to 15%, again 2. So these are the proportions. So among these, what is the correct answer? Whether it is 2, 15, 20, 80, what is the correct answer? Okay, so that answer should be, okay, it is all about staining for all proteins, no staining. Okay, so the answer should be 80%. So there is a small mistake in the question. It's not about no staining, it's all about staining. Okay, so there is a mistake in the question. It's not about no staining, it's all about staining. So that answer should be 80%. Okay, so we can mark 80% should be the answer. It's not about no staining, it's all about staining. Clear? Then second question, the type of tumors that get analyzed through examining the urine sample are. So these are the type of tumors. So what is your answer? What type of tumors? Okay, analyzed through examining urine sample are. So that question will be from text B for sure, because those are the procedures. Okay, so from urine analysis, a sample of your urine helps your healthcare provider screen for renal tumors. So which type? This type, renal tumors. So answer should be renal. Why it is renal? Okay, why don't you write renal tumors instead of renal? Any idea, 𝐉𝐶? Okay, why it is not renal tumors, dear? Why it is not renal tumors? Question is asking you type of tumor. So answer, you have told me it is all about renal. So why? It's not renal tumors, it is renal. Why? Yes, why? Any idea? Okay, because you don't have to repeat the word from the question. So you're asking about the type of tumors. So answer should be renal. You don't have to repeat the word from the question. Clear? Okay, so moving to the next one. What might be the likely age, okay, of the individuals if they are diagnosed with Lynch syndrome? So what is the age? So the age is mentioned in, as you know, from text A. Okay, 𝐉𝐶, tumor is already mentioned in the question. Yes, Vidya, tumor is already in the question. Yes. Okay, so answer should be renal. So what is the age? It is from text A. So that age should be under, or you can write before 50 years. Okay, so it is better you can write under 50 years. Okay, so answer is, what might be the likely age of individual? So answer should be before 50 years, or you can write under 50 years. Okay, yes, Reshma, before 50 years, yes. So that is what is mentioned in the paragraph. Okay, 11th one, which evaluation technique? So definitely evaluation technique as well as MLH1. So that is another type of gene. Promoters showed the positive methylation. So methylation, it is only mentioned in text D. So as well as MLH1 is a type of gene which is mentioned in text D. Evaluation technique. So that is all about this okay, chart. So what is the answer? So answer should be methylation analysis. Okay, so that should be the answer from this box, middle one. Methylation analysis of MHL1 promoter. So answer should be methylation analysis. So in this case, you know, methylation, or that word methylation is already mentioned here, but okay, you can't write analysis here. That term should be there, that is the name of the particular analysis. So it should be like, okay, methylation analysis. That should be the answer. Methylation analysis should be the answer. Okay, which is from text D, the middle box. Answer should be methylation analysis. So don't write just analysis, it is wrong. We need that name of the procedure or the technique. So methylation analysis. Okay, 12th one. the instrument. So we need the name of the instrument that is inserted into the vaginal canal to examine the ovaries and uterus in transvaginal ultrasound is called dash. So what is the name? What is the name? So I know that majority of you have some doubts regarding the repetition of this kind of answers, right? Okay, whether you have to repeat the word or whether you don't have to. So sometimes okay, you have to repeat the words from the question in case of, for example, the previous question, because they are asking about the name of a procedure. So already methylation is mentioned there, but they just want what? The technique, the name of the technique. So that is why we just repeated the name, methylation analysis. Okay, so that's that. So answer should be 12th one. What is your answer? Is probe. Okay, so the article is important, so we have to write it as a probe. Okay, a probe should be the answer, and that is from text B. So diagnosis. Okay, so which is from text B. Okay, so it is all about transvaginal ultrasound examines your ovaries and uterus through a probe. A probe is inserted, so a probe should be the answer. Then the 13th one, the total number of. So we need a number, the total number. So just answer to the question always, all the time. Okay, so always read the initial thing, the number, the total number. So what is the total number of uterine cancer cases occurs in US that result from the Lynch syndrome is? Okay, so what is your answer? Total number. So that is from text A. As you can see here, the number of cases. What is the total number of cases? 1800 cases of endometrial cancer. So answer should be 1800. Okay, very easy question. The final one, the intake of which medication? So we need the name of the medication. Which medication regularly can lower the risk of cancer in people with Lynch syndrome? So what is the name of the medicine which can reduce the symptom, or sorry, the Lynch syndrome? So that medication, treatment. Okay, which treatment, which medication? So that answer is aspirin. Okay, so you can take aspirin daily. So taking a daily aspirin may lower the risk of cancer in people with Lynch syndrome. So answer should be aspirin. Okay, so that is all about 14 questions. Any doubts? Any questions? Okay, so let me move to the next set of questions, that is 15 to 20, which are called fill in the blanks. Okay, same thing mentioned, word or a short phrase, which means maximum 3 words. 15th one, genes. MSH2 and MSH6 genes are not methylated, and so deprivation of dash for these genes does not conduct to studies of methylation. So what is your answer? Okay, Abhi, you got 7 out of 7 for the next set of question, right? Okay, excellent. Okay, so tell me, what about 15th one? What is your answer? Let me know what is your answer for the question number 15. Okay, so when you do this fill in the blanks question, it is very important to check for the missing word from the paragraph. So what is the answer here? 15th one. Answer should be from text D. Okay, so there they have mentioned in the last box. So what is mentioned here? MSH2 and MSH6, so these are the genes, are not methylated, and so absence of immunostaining for these genes does not lead to this methylation. So answer should be immunostaining. So that is from text D, this last box. Okay, immunostaining should be the answer. Then 16th one, the placing of a device called an dash. What is the name of the device? Okay, emanates the hormone that lowers the risk of endometrial cancer and also intercepts you from conceiving. Okay, from pregnancy. So what is the answer? 16th one. So that answer should be intrauterine device, the name of the device. So where is it mentioned? Or you can write the abbreviation also, because it is directly mentioned in the treatment. Okay, text is C. Okay, so the device which is called, and an is already mentioned, so you don't have to repeat, intrauterine device. Okay, or you can write IUD. Both are correct. Okay, then the next one, A dash is one of 5 genes. So one of 5 genes, definitely that is from one among the genes, okay, that are accountable for fixing errors in DNA. Mismatch repair gene causes Lynch syndrome. A dash in one of 5 genes. So what is in one of 5 genes? So maybe I think the mutation they are talking about, okay, a genetic mutation. So a is already mentioned, so a dash. A genetic mutation is one of the 5 genes that are responsible for fixing errors in DNA. So answer should be genetic mutation from text A. 18th one. Research suggests taking oral contraceptive pills for minimum of dash modulates, changes the risk of or prevent the risk of ovarian cancer. So what is it? Minimum of dash. So minimum of what? Prevention, modulates, control. Okay, change. So answer should be from the treatment again. Okay, because that is preventing. So treatment. So answer should be 5 years. Okay, so research suggests taking oral contraceptive pills for at least 5 years lowers the risk of ovarian cancer. So which means it can modulate. Okay, so that is 5 years. Then the second last one, if you have Lynch syndrome, your DNA dash doesn't have all the instructions to get rid of the damaged cells, so they build up in your tissues and cause cancer. So what is dash? If you have Lynch syndrome, your DNA dash. So answer should be, again here you can write the abbreviation, okay, or you can write what? The full form, okay, mismatch repair gene, or you can write MMR. So both are correct. If you have Lynch syndrome, your DNA mismatch repair gene, or MMR, doesn't have all the instructions to get rid of the damaged cells, so they build up in your tissues and cancer cells. So these are the keywords from the question. So answer should be MMR. Okay, so the final one, in dash, okay, a lot of answers are B, okay, Suparna, Doshna, Binsi, okay, MMR, yes, very good. So what about the last one? In dash, the inner part of your large intestine, colon and rectum will get examined with a camera attached to a scope. So what is your answer? What is that technique called, or that procedure called? So which is from text B, the treatment, sorry, not the treatment, the diagnosis. Okay. Okay, so the first point, colonoscopy, it examines the inside of your large intestine, colon and rectum. So these are the keywords, camera. Okay, answer should be colonoscopy from text B. So these are the answers. Okay, so every day should be a revision for part A as well as part B. Okay, so stay tuned for tomorrow, the same time. Same thing, if you have any doubts or concerns regarding the sessions, regarding the timing, regarding the classes, you can contact us on this number mentioned on the screen. Okay, so God bless you all. Thank you.